Natalie Robb from Emmerdale has suggested that Moira Dingle will attempt to strike back at Joe Tate following his ruthless plotting. Although Moira usually manages the farm efficiently, the business has struggled financially since the slurry tank disaster last year. Fans may remember that John Sugden deliberately caused the tank to spill in an effort to set up Mackenzie Boyd. The contamination spread into the village water system, leaving Moira responsible for significant compensation claims. Ever since, she has fought to save the farm, but matters worsened when Celia Daniels and Ray Walters exploited her property for an illegal modern slavery operation. Recently, Moira faced accusations of 2 murders after authorities discovered the bodies of Celia and Anya. Celia had been killed by her son Ray, who was later fatally attacked by Bear Wolf. Anya, one of the enslaved workers, died from an infection and was secretly buried on Moira's land, wrapped in her blanket. Suspicion intensified when police uncovered identification documents belonging to the trafficked workers inside Moira's house. It later emerged that Joe Tate had coerced Robert Sugden into planting the evidence there as part of his scheme to claim the Dingles' share of the farm. Adding to the turmoil, Moira remains unaware that her husband Cain Dingle has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, a secret he has kept from her. In forthcoming scenes, Cain will finally reveal everything to Moira, including his illness and Joe Tate's ongoing efforts to seize their farmland. In an interview with the Manchester Evening News and other media outlets, Natalie Robb explained that Moira is devastated and feels as though her life is crumbling. She fears the strain it will place on their family and feels powerless, wishing she could offer Cain more support. Discussing Joe Tate's behaviour, the actress indicated that he has returned to his manipulative ways, creating tension with Cain until Moira reaches breaking point and begins devising a strategy to confront him. When Kim Tate pays Moira a visit, further conflict is expected. According to Natalie, Kim disapproves of Joe's methods, as his actions frequently backfire and negatively affect her. She suggested that while Kim might challenge Moira, she is not naturally vindictive. The outcome of their discussion could shape the future of the Dingle family and their farm. Emmerdale has revealed the dramatic reality behind Laurel Thomas's supposed memory problems in the ongoing storyline with her son Arthur. The plot began after a fierce disagreement between the two, during which Arthur shoved his mother, leaving her hurt. Much of the strain stemmed from Laurel's unresolved emotions for Ray Walters, who was killed by Bear Wolf. Laurel had briefly been in a relationship with Ray, before ending things when she uncovered the extent of his disturbing criminal behaviour. Even so, she still felt a degree of compassion for Ray, who had endured a troubled childhood under his late mother, Celia Daniels. At the time of Ray's funeral, Laurel was upset by the thought that no one would grieve for him. She decided to accompany Bear to the chapel while Ray's body lay there, a choice that angered Bear's relatives. Arthur, too, struggled to understand his mother's lingering sympathy, challenging her over how she could still see good in Ray after everything he had done. The situation reached a frightening peak last week when another intense row broke out. As Arthur's anger escalated, he pushed Laurel, causing her to fall and strike her head on the staircase. In the aftermath, Laurel has been recuperating, and the latest episode of the ITV drama opened with Gabby confronting her about the events of that evening. After Laurel experienced yet another dizzy spell, Gabby insisted on calling Manpreet for medical advice. The doctor arrived to examine Laurel and carried out several checks, eventually asking Gabby and Arthur to step outside so she could speak privately. She directly questioned her friend about what was really happening, admitting she felt uneasy about the apparent signs of memory loss. 4 Emmerdale teasers for tonight. Cain faces backlash, Jai has doubts, and Gabby grows wary. In tonight's episode, Cain finds himself under fire from several directions as Jacob and Charity confront him, followed by some blunt honesty from Sarah. Could this pressure finally persuade him to stop hiding his cancer diagnosis? Meanwhile, Jai begins to question where he stands with Kerry and whether their renewed romance can realistically continue. Here's what to expect. 1. Jacob challenges Cain. Cain remains determined to keep his illness private, a decision that is putting Sarah in a difficult position. After catching her attempting to take his employer's car to gather money for Cain, Jacob is outraged. However, Sarah still refuses to reveal the full story behind her actions. Jacob later arrives at the garage and angrily accuses Cain of dragging Sarah into questionable behavior. Tensions rise quickly, and Cain struggles to keep his temper in check. Cain faces criticism from all sides. Charity is also furious about the situation, upset that her granddaughter has been drawn into trouble. Although Cain tries to defend himself, he ultimately walks away to avoid further conflict and probing questions. Later on, Liam offers a calmer perspective, suggesting that involving Sarah in car theft highlights why concealing the cancer may not be the wisest choice. Despite this, Cain fails to recognize that his secrecy is pushing loved ones away when their support is exactly what he needs most. Sarah soon heads to Butler's to confront her grandfather directly, leaving Jacob exasperated. Once there, she tells Cain she is tired of the lies and labels him a coward, urging him to be honest with those closest to him. Will her words make an impact? Jai questions his situation with Kerry. After rekindling their relationship, Jai feels uncertain about how to manage their chemistry while also being her employer. When they are around others, he finds their connection awkward and hard to define. Gabby becomes increasingly doubtful. Although Laurel maintains that she simply fainted and is recovering well, Gabby remains unconvinced. As her doubts deepen, could the truth about Arthur finally surface, or will Laurel continue shielding her son from scrutiny? Viewers of Emmerdale have voiced frustration over Aaron Dingle's absence as Cain begins revealing his cancer diagnosis to relatives. In recent episodes, Cain Dingle has struggled emotionally since doctors discovered a significant mass during examinations following his shooting by John Sugden in Corriedale earlier this year. The situation worsened when he was formally diagnosed with prostate cancer in a special installment that explored his private thoughts. The news arrived while he was already coping with the turmoil of his wife Moira being wrongly jailed after the bodies of Celia Daniels and Anya were uncovered on her property. At the same time, Joe Tate had forced Robert Sugden into hiding identification documents belonging to the enslaved workers linked to Celia, planting them inside Moira's house. Determined to support Moira through her ordeal, Cain chose to keep his illness secret from her, instead lashing out at those around him. He distanced himself from family and friends before finally confiding in his granddaughter, Sarah Sugden. Longtime viewers will remember that Sarah has endured serious health struggles of her own, making her quick to stand by her grandfather. In an emotional scene at Zach's graveside, Sarah joined Cain, prompting tears from many watching at home as he admitted the truth. He revealed that after the crash, hospital scans detected something concerning, and further tests confirmed his fears, acknowledging that he had tried to convince himself it was nothing but had been mistaken. The ITV drama continues to air on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1, with episodes also available for streaming on ITVX.